So listen, I want to talk to you about something that I think is like, I think is incredibly beautiful. So you have how many kids? 4 kids?
I have two from my from the mother of my kid, Heather Lonsdale, and two kids that she and I brought up, and she did such an amazing job because as an actor, you know, you're away a lot, and so most of the heavy lifting is done by her. And for my kids to turn out the way they have turned out, I have to give her a lot of love. And then my new wife we've been together for 20 years plus now. She came with 2 kids, and when they were
I like the fact that you say my new wife. When it's 20 years, but that's the point I wanted to bring this up because the one thing that is true for me as I observe is the fact that you have such a solid relationship with Julie, and I can see her support of you, which could be very challenging for a different woman in the sense that, you know, now that you're a zaddy and that you're this hot, older, sophisticated gentleman that everybody wants to do, it's like that could be very challenging for some people. You know, some people are not made for that. They don't know how to handle it. But in terms of my observation, you know, she's like, you know, look, do your thing. And it's such a beautiful thing to see because I've seen, as a teacher for 46 years, I've seen the people who didn't have that, how it actually, you know, put roadblocks in their careers because they always had to keep one hand behind their back because they knew if they brought it out and said, look, this is what I'm doing, you know, in all transparency, you know, they couldn't handle it. So it's beautiful to see you in such a solid, beautiful, supportive relationship.
Richard, I'm a lucky man. I really am a lucky man because Julie handles it with such class and grace.
She does.
You know, and it's not an act. That's just the way she is. She's very classy, she's very graceful. There's something regal about her, and she handles it that way. And this attention, you know, it's surprising for me as well. I didn't expect this type of attention from so many fans. And I think you can do the algorithms and you can look and see that I think like 85% of my fans are women.
Yeah, of course. Of course. That's what I'm talking about, the monetization. But the monetization from you is right through the women's rank. That's why I say, Julie, congratulations.
My girl,
just let the boy go make his money.
But I also remember, Shaquille O'Neal was talking to his son. His son wanted to be an NBA player. And Shaquille said, listen, you don't want to be this. He says, and if you do want to be it, you have to be fully committed and you have to be willing to make some sacrifices.
Right.
And when I mean sacrifices, he says, I mean sacrificing, like when your boys are doing something, you got to be doing something different. When you may have to make sacrifices. He says, I've lost part of my family because of the sacrifices that I had to make. And when you are chasing greatness, which we all are, always, we may not attain it, but we're always, that is the aspiration. We as an artist, you want to do your best, and if you do your best, you hope that will be something that's great. When you're chasing greatness, there are going to be sacrifices, and I'm just so happy that that's something that I don't have to worry about. And then part of it is that Julie also, she's been in the business. You know, she was in Living Color, and she was in Beverly Hills 90210, and so she understands the business. As a matter of fact, her and I were both in the same in Beverly Hills 210 in the same year, but we were in different episodes, so we never met. But she understands the business, and also she knows me. And so we have a solid relationship.
That's huge.
And she handles it so with such grace, man. And she knows I ain't going nowhere, man. You know, I'm a lucky man, and we've got a future plan, man. And so I'm just very blessed and very lucky to have the women. I give credit to my mother. My mother was a good role model of the type of woman that you should have. And the women in my life have been really good women, and I've been often the one that had to grow up. But the women in my life has been stellar women, man.
Well, they taught you the value of ethics and integrity, and if she has the security of you being solid in regards to your ethics and integrity, then she don't have to worry about them because she trusts you.
Exactly.
And that's where it gets flipped. I don't trust that bitch. Right? She ain't got nothing to do with it. It's, do you trust me?
Exactly.
You know what I mean? If you trust me, then I don't care what she do, proverbial she, it's me. The people you work with, whatever, the people who flirt with you, whatever. You still have to have grace and, be able to handle it. And a lot of people have gone the way of, they didn't handle it and they didn't know how to handle it. And so it's self-destructive. But I just want to say,
I've been in this. Thank you so much for that, brother. But part of being in this business is that you learn from other actors' mistakes.
Yeah.
So I have an actor friend. I'm not going to mention his name. He did a movie with.
I probably know him.
You probably do. That's why I'm not going to mention his name. And anyway, he did a movie with this girl, and in the movie they fall in love. And
as characters or as people?
As characters, they fall in love, and then
as people
they fall in love.
Okay.
And so he ends up coming back and leaving his wife for this actress, and that was hot for like
10 minutes.
3 to 4 months.
Yeah.
And then it burnt down, and then he had to go crawling back to his wife, which is a very difficult thing. And
that ain't never gonna be the same.
Yeah, it ain't never gonna be the same, man. And so knowing him and hearing his story directly from him and the lessons that he learned from that, it was a good thing for a young actor to hear, because you understand, if I'm playing, if you and I are best friends in a film, I try and be friends with you off camera, because whatever that relationship is off camera, when we get on camera, it's going to be so much easier for us to develop this, right?
It's like me and Debbie.
So if I'm in a relationship with a girl and I have to be in love with her on camera, I try and find things that I like about her.
Yeah.
And I can see how you can let that get out of hand.
Right.
But I did have I was doing a TV series called Magic. It was a musical, but it was a TV series, and it was kind of going to be like Fame. They thought it was going to be a big hit.
Right.
And I was like the hot jazz dancer, but had attitude, always angry at you, hot tempered. And in the film, there was this girl who, at the end of the first season, we were going to get together romantically. And I remember when I first met her when we were doing the reading, she was beautiful, Richard. She was so beautiful. I couldn't wait till to shoot the scene where we get intimate. But by the time we got to that time in the schedule, months and months later, I'd gotten to know her. And even though she was physically beautiful, her personality was kind of ugly, because if you were an actor or somebody who could lift her career, she was very nice to you. But if you were a crew member, she could be very, very dismissive. And so she became unattractive to me. And I remember by the time we actually got to the scene, it was difficult for me to act like I was really into her. And I did have to act like I was into her at that point, because even though she was beautiful exteriorly and interiorly, she had lost her looks.
One of the things that I can say, when you are talented, you are handsome or beautiful, and you have the physical attributes that Hollywood wants to see, and you are very fuckable, which is a Hollywood term. Are they fuckable? That's always the case,
of course,
right?
Yeah.
That the quality and height of your career is directly associated with your ability to manage your ethics and your integrity. If you don't say no, the places you say yes are going to come back to haunt you.
And it's hard sometimes to say no.
It is hard.
Richard, Rick, who was it? Chris Rock's had a joke that he says, he says, as a man, you can stop chasing pussy, but if pussy chase you, you call. and so you know, it is easy. It's easier to say I am not going to chase, or I'm not going to go after this. But
right.
if it's coming at you,
yeah,
that's when you have to understand what you were just saying.
Right.
That these yeses can lead you to places where you don't want to go.
Your ability to say no is really the key to your salvation. Mm-hmm. You know, your ability to you know, people want what they can't have until they get it. Mm-hmm. They want what they can't have. And if you understand to hold that off, because the reality is that you can't fuck your way to the top. You can fuck your way to the middle, but you're gonna meet the same people on the way down that you met on the way up. And so whatever it is that's going, you know, to give you the courage and the strength to say no. Do not give in, because those places is going to be your undoing. When you walk into a party and you say, oh shit, there's and your past is meeting you. It's like,
I think also, if you're getting that type of attention when you're in your 20s and 30s, it may be a little more irresistible, but as a mature man, you understand the pitfalls of it.
You do.
And so I think you have more power to resist that type of temptation.
You do, for the most part. You know, you do, especially if you are attached to your purpose, and you know, and your economics are a lot more clear now, because you can't afford to lose something. You've got to really make sure that you stay on point. Mm-hmm. You don't have time to waste.
Right.
You know, you look at you and I was saying earlier about that dash. I think I was saying that to you. That's my whole thing. But in terms of like 1947, my born day, dash, whatever that expiration date is, I don't have that yet. What I'm interested in is September 29th, 2025, dash, whatever that date is. And the interesting thing about time is the only account where you don't know what the balance is. So you got to make the most of that time. That's 78, how many good years? Upright years. Piss years where you can stop the flow year. And only older people know what I'm talking about. But y'all, it's coming. It's coming.
If you're lucky.
If you're lucky. It's like, man, I ain't got time for this. I don't have time for this.
But see, you had an experience that a lot of actors don't have, because you were in a relationship that was very, I suppose, more public than most people's.
I've had the most public divorce, probably in one of the more public divorces in Black people's history.
Right. How did you handle that? Let me ask you some questions, shit.
You know, it's an interesting thing, because that's a big world. It's a big universe. Because even though it's my wife, it really is Beyonce and Jay's universe that sits as an overlord of the whole thing. You understand? And no aspersions on them. I love them. She's one of my favorite people. I have nothing but respect for them. I love Jay. I miss Jay. I love Jay. And but to endure the lies and the misnomers and the things like, for instance, you know, 2 hours after the divorce was announced, then you know, oh, Mr. Lawson's watching porn, and it's like I'm liking porn. I'm one of the most technological people I know. Nobody my age is into technology the way I am and shit. I was one of the first people on Zoom back in 2005. I know that raising your hand is saying, "Hey world, I got hacked." That's why I'm not on Twitter and never did like it. I got hacked, but that goes out there.
And once it goes out there, you know, and then the house got robbed. I'm the one who set it up, and then some comment about, you know, that I was, you know, I was trying to take her for her money, and then the whole, it was completely public. I ain't said shit. This is the first time I'm actually talking about it, right? Because I understand the concept of don't deny and don't reply. Because if I do, you're feeding the beast.
I'm pouring gasoline on the fire. You understand? And then it becomes, you know what it is. And it's like, yo, I'm gonna have my day. I'm writing a memoir.
There you go.
I'm creating my Substack channel.
So that you can have your say uninterrupted.
I'm having my say in the way that I need to put, without casting aspersions on anybody. I'm just being me 100%, and people will be able to see. Some people will see it, and some people won't. And I'm okay whichever way it goes, you know, because of the fact that I'm not trying to explain nothing to nobody. I'm just living my life and passionately living my life and reconnecting with the joy that had been diminished, you know, and this is all on me. You know, the interesting thing about divorce is I don't blame nobody for nothing. Nothing. You know why? Because I'm 100% responsible. Why? Because I saw it all. And I didn't do nothing. That's on me. That ain't on her. She did what she is who she is. And God bless her. And I love her. She's a wonderful person. It just wasn't the time for either one of us, because, you know, we had too much luggage. There's a scene in Dynasty when Diane Carroll makes her entrance, and the low camera that just pans this. So there's a small Louis Vuitton luggage, and then there's a larger one, and then there's a makeup bag, and then there's a handbag, and then there's a small suitcase, and then there's a larger suitcase, and then there's 2 or 3 or 4 larger suitcases, and then there's a trunk, right?
It's just too much.
It's
too much luggage.
It's too much luggage to overcome
but also,
for both of us.
But also, when you're a power couple, you are forced to be in the public, whether you want to be in it or
no
not.
question about it. We were like people's answer to, like, oh my God, it is possible for people in later on in life to
find love and all that.
And all that.
And I remember as a young actor, I'm in this TV series called West Beach in London, and I'm kind of like the new hunk on the show. You know, the hunk on the show. They used to call it over there. I don't know what
they called it hunk here.
They call it here. Okay, so I'm the hunk on the
They
show.
used to back in the 80s and 90s.
I get a call from my agent where this magazine wants to put me on the cover because my Heather and I are having our first child, and our first child they want to have the first photographs of our child Aisha, and they want us to be on the cover. And I you know, actors like the publicity, and we like covers of magazines, but I was hesitant. And I was hesitant because one is I just thought, I'm thinking as a young man, I'm the hunk of the show. Do I want to really come across as a family man with my kids and all that? And I'm thinking that way as well. But I'm also thinking, this is my daughter. Do I want to put my daughter's face in the public? And you know, fathers can be very protective of their daughters. So I passed on it, and Heather was disappointed that I passed on it. And she thought I was passing on it primarily because I wanted to be seen as this single sex symbol. and it was partly that, if I'm honest,
Okay.
because that was the character in the TV series, but it was also because I didn't want my daughter's face plastered on the media at such an early age, and so I passed on it, and at the same time, Bonham, the rock star, had a kid a day before or a day after me, our kid, and they put him and his wife, who was a model, on the cover, and they had a beautiful baby, and the two of them were there, and then a few weeks later, he's in Italy doing it with the band. They're doing a show in Italy, and they're at a nightclub, and he's at a nightclub with this beautiful blonde girl on the dance floor, and his wife is brunette, and of course there's photographs of him with this blonde bombshell, and they're going, and the mother, and they're going, and his wife is at home with the newborn, and here he is, and nobody knew who she was. For all they know, she could have been part of the crew or whatever.
Matter.
You know, it doesn't matter. But they put this out there, and I'm thinking, and now his wife, back in England, has to read this, and has to get calls from her girlfriend. Oh, have you seen him in the papers? And that affects their relationship.
Yeah, sure.
Whether he's doing anything, if he's innocent or not, it's already causing static with his relationship. And I just thought,
unless he makes the phone call and say, look, this is what this was. Don't believe the hype.
Right.
And somebody is transparent and is upfront and honest.
That would definitely help. But I also think when you have a newborn and the mother, she feels like she's not at her prettiest. She just had a baby. There's insecurities in her anyway. Getting calls from her girlfriends, I'm imagining, would be a disturbing thing, and that she's got to go through that shit. But I think that's what happens when you put your face on the cover. And I just remember thinking that young actors always want fortune and fame, but there is a price.
There's a price.
There's a price. It doesn't come free.
There's a price. There's no price. Listen,
when
you step up on the stage, when you do that one step, I don't give a how high it is, you understand that there's a target on you. You have to have tough skin. And everybody in your universe has to have tough skin. Sayaka and her husband have one of the most beautiful industry relationships I've ever seen, because he's completely 100% supportive of her, so she's free to create her art. I say never let your creativity pass through the lens of someone else's morality. Now that someone, mother, father, sister, brother, hopefully your mate, you all are contiguous on the same page, and you can talk about it and talk about anything and talk about, look, I need to do this thing here. I know it's going to look like this, but you know what it is. And so, because we got to make this paper without selling my soul, we got to make this paper. We got to monetize this, not at the cost, at the expense of anything, but we have to be on the same page.
Yeah, it's really important.
And without that, you got a hard way to go, man.
Yeah. I mean, the business is a beautiful business. I mean, it's having a certain amount of fame is a gift. I mean, you can meet somebody, and you can make their day just by meeting them.
Totally.
That's a beautiful,
taking a moment to take a
freaking
picture.
gift to have to make someone happy just by meeting them.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
But then there's a downside to it too.
Yeah.
And I guess, you know, there's a payoff. You know, if you've given this amazing gift where you meet someone and they say you made my day or you made my week.
Yeah.
You know, there is a payoff.
There's a damn sure payoff.
I was living in London. I'm walking down the street called King's Road. It's kind of like Melrose.
I used to live on King's Road.
You know what I was talking about there, right? Yeah. In West Hollywood. There's one in London, right? And I'm walking down here, and as I'm walking, I see this couple come out of a cinema, and it's a white guy and a black girl. And at the time, I was moonlighting as a model, and I saw her, and I realized that I recognized her, and I thought, oh, we've worked together. And I'm about, and their head's still in the movie. You can tell they had a date and date night, and their head's still in the movie. And as I'm walking toward her, I'm thinking about I'll say something to her, and the people came out in front of me, and they saw who they were, and they started rushing them, a group of people. And this couple crossed the street in traffic to get to the other side, and then I realized who it was, and it was David Bowie and Iman.
Oh.
And that's why I didn't know Iman, but I recognized it because it's Iman. And I remember thinking at that time, no matter what country they're in, what city they're in, what state they're in, what country they're in, every time they step out,
they're gonna have that.
they're gonna have that.
They're gonna have that.
They're gonna have that. And that's when I remember thinking as a young actor, we all want fortune and fame, but it does come with a cost.
It does.
It does. And I mean, you probably know that better than anybody, because I didn't know it until we started working together that you and Beyonce's mom were a couple, and then since then just it comes back, because now you're getting all this press and all that, and so then these stories come back, and I guess it's like it never goes away.
It never stopped.
It never stops.
It had never stopped throughout the entire time.
Really?
I open up my phone and Google alerts. Richard Lawson and Tina Knowles. And it'd be like, okay, what is it this time?
Oh my God.
And it would be like, this is funny. This is funny. You learn to let it roll off your back, and you don't take it seriously.
What about this
And the one thing
now?
you don't scroll down.
Oh, you don't scroll down.
You don't scroll down.
Because you're asking for trouble
Oh,
if you scroll down.
you don't scroll down. You know, nigga, you wasn't doing nothing but carrying her bag. You this and that. Man, men don't have no respect for you. Blah blah blah. And it's like, well, for everyone that don't respect me, I can show you 10 that do. What was the question?
I was saying, now with this deep fake, I don't know if you've seen any of it, where they'll have say, for instance, Crystal Stewart saying,
oh yeah.
and it's her voice and everything.
Oh,
but she said
perfect
none of it.
clone.
Perfect
None
clone.
of it. None of it.
And I'm just thinking, it's only going to get worse.
And Taylor said, I'm leaving the show. Yeah,
I'm leaving the show.
Yes, it is true. I don't like Crystal Stewart. She's this and she's that. But I'm leaving the show.
Just stirring stuff up, man.
It's like you have to understand the difference between AI and. I thought I heard something. The difference between AI and what's real. We know what's real. If you don't, and the people who don't know that, it's clickbait, and somebody's going to click and they're going to believe it. And it's like, and sometimes I'll step in and say, are y'all for real? Are you for real? Come on now. Shit, that's crazy. The one that's cracking me up recently is, well, that Roy is Norman's son. Because that's why he pissed on him, because he knew that was,
just come right out and say all this stuff, and they'll do it in your voice and everything.
Oh yeah. They can clone. The cloning thing is gonna fuck a lot of people up.
It is.
Because people who are prone to believe, no matter what it is, without doing the investigation. That's why, I don't listen to any of that at face value. It's like, it's just chill. Let it come to the surface, because half of this bullshit is going to reveal itself to be what it is.
Give it a little time.
Just give it time. And if you're in this business, don't just automatically jump on the train, because you're going to be the recipient of that. One day.
There's in Germany, I heard that they had passed a law that if you know that something is not true and you go and publicly say this thing, that there are consequences.
Oh, really?
And I was like, how sensible is that?
Absolutely.
How sensible is that?
Oh,
you just can't go on TV and tell a lie, and they can prove that you lied, then there's consequences.
Right.
I was like,
or if you don't know that it's a lie, but you pass it on anyway.
You're passing it on
You
anyway.
don't know. You didn't do the facts.
Yeah, and you're going to publicly pass this lie?
Yeah.
And you don't know? Yeah, the people you're forced to be responsible. With that power of being in front of the camera, that comes the responsibility.
Look, I have never been that one where somebody can say, "Hey man, you know your wife did this. I saw your wife did." You saw? You saw.
Right.
You saw.
Yeah, you saw yourself with your own eyes.
You heard.
Yeah.
You saw. What did you see? Or you know what they say? No. Well, no. Who's
No,
they?
who's they?
Who is they? Identify they. And you break that shit down as one person. They heard it. You know what I mean? It's like, man, I've been doing this for too long.
It's funny. But saying all that, it's a great business. It's like any other business. There are pros and cons. But you know, I am grateful every day, man, that you know I was able to be successful and live my dream. You know, even when times get hard, even when I wasn't working and I was looking for jobs, even when I was between agents, I had to keep reminding myself, Ricco, you're living the dream. This is what you wanted, and this is what comes along with it.
Totally.
You know, and so it enabled me to recognize what I have instead of just focus on what I didn't have.
Yeah.
And if you're in this game long enough and you do the work, I think good things will happen.
Yeah.
Just like any other profession, if you're in the game long enough, I use the analogy like if you keep swinging, sooner or later you're gonna hit.
Yeah.
But you gotta be swinging. You know, you can't stop swinging.
You can't stop swinging. You cannot stop swinging. Man, thank you so much. This has been such fun. I had so many other questions to ask, but you know, we covered so many beautiful
I
things
know,
that
man.
it's like, you know. So I think people will. I mean, they know a lot about you anyway because a lot of that has been out there, but they haven't heard it in this
Directly
exchange
from us, yeah.
you know, and stuff.
No, I was looking forward to this because I know that, you know, we could talk here. We can sit here and chop it up for hours, man.
Hours.
We could chop it up for hours and nonstop. And
We got stories to tell.
Yeah, we got stories. When you've been in the business this long, you got stories.
Yeah.
And every story that you would tell is going to remind me of a story, and then
Right.
you're going to know somebody in my story that
I
remind you.
know,
Of a,
right.
We could go on forever. So y'all got to know that.
Look, hey, look, it's like I got a story, man. I'm not gonna say who it is, but so it's like, wait, let me finish it for you.
Exactly. But also to play characters that just have such disdain for each other on camera, and to be able to pull that off when people think that we really don't like each other, and then off camera to have a cast that really is so supportive.
Love each other. It's a
Really
it's a
so
tight
supportive,
group.
understands that this is teamwork, always rooting for everybody else to do their best,
100%.
and then to see the show and see the scenes that you're not in, that you weren't there when they shot, and to see your colleagues work and to hear people give them their flowers, it's a beautiful thing.
That is a beautiful thing.
It really is.
I have one question for you.
Sure.
So I'm talking to Horace. What is the one thing that Horace hates most about Norman?
About Norman?
Yeah.
I think the one thing could be Horace is very accomplished. Norman's a doctor. Norman has a doctor's degree. I think that could be part of it. I also think that that there's some backstory that will come out in future episodes that will explain some of the things that makes Horace despise him so much. So I don't want to give anything away. I'm not gonna spoil it for y'all. But there's reasons. Come on, it ain't just come out of air. There's reasons.
There's reasons.
Let me ask you a question. So what do you think your biggest gripe, Norman's biggest gripe, is for Horace?
That my father hated me.
That's your father, though.
And he,
that's our father. That's not Horace.
But he loved you, and you used it Horace used it to his advantage, and would do shit, and would never fess up that he did it, and would let my father think that I did it, and would not defend nor step up, and those lashes across my back, I see him having me on my knees, lashing me across my back, and I look up at you, at Horace, and there's a smirk on his face.
But you know, younger brothers are
You
not
don't
the
forget
most.
that shit. You don't forget that shit. You don't forget it. I don't care. You don't forget it. That's the last thing y'all will be arguing about over the will.
Younger brothers are not the most responsible people in the world, and I think you grow up and you make mistakes and you live with those mistakes. Maybe you try and find ways to justify them later on in life.
I understand, but you know the interesting thing is the fact that what is so true about this, in the way that the Bellery family is about this will. Every time I see black folks die,
There's no will.
the same shit happens. It is so ugly. It's ugly. It's like, wait a minute, why didn't they put that together to keep this from happening? I know somebody that right now, I think they go to court. They might have gone to court today. No, Monday. Tuesday. They go to court tomorrow. Will. It's about the will. And people lose their shit because they think they deserve more than what is written. And families are divided about that will.
I have a bigger problem. I have a bigger gripe. I have a gripe that people, poor people and working class people, often have no will. And they have no will because they feel like I don't have a lot of assets and it's not that important, but also because it's a very difficult conversation to have in a family, because you're starting to talk about you dying when you're not here, and a lot of people don't. They feel like they put that off until it's too late.
Mm-hmm.
And then what you find is that whatever you do have, instead of that going down, going to your family and creating some type of generational income, what happens is it goes to court and lawyers eat it all up.
Lawyers eat it all
And
up.
if you guys get nothing else from this, I will say that for working class and working class people, poor people, have a will.
Have
Have a will. You can do it online. It's really easy to do.
Yeah.
It's not very expensive now.
Yeah.
But it's nice to have it. And the thing about a will is, it's an uncomfortable conversation to have. But once you've had it, it's done.
It's done.
And then you can change it later on if you decide to. But at least you've got something.
You have a starting point.
For me, I did it probably maybe 10 years ago. Because I just realized I was taking too many flights, and with these flights I was often bringing my wife with me, and I thought if the plane crashes and both of us go out, you know who's going to know what to do? And so I decided to go online and create that quick will, and it was done like that. And you can later on you can edit it and tweak it however you want, but I think that is a problem. And also when money comes, whatever money there is, people can act up when money comes.
Money, man. They didn't make that shit up. Money is the root of all evil. That shit is real, man. At the end of the day, people want the lion's share.
Lion's share.
That's why that will at least has an establishment that you have to argue about and that no one can do anything about, because that person set it up like this. You may disagree the fact that you got this, you know what I mean, when you wanted that.
Right.
But
Yeah.
that's not the question. Now, you may refute it, you may do whatever, but at least it's a basis of argument rather than a basis of mystery.
Yeah.
Then the wrong people get it.
And he hearsay.
Yeah.
But he told me that before he died, he told me that
Yeah.
I was gonna get that car.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. It's like, I was gonna get the property. I was gonna give you the car. You know, give you the house in the country.
But I think people are relating to this show because it deals with so many real life issues.
Oh, no question.
You know, they are real life issues. It is done in a dramatic fashion, but in real life, when people have disagreements, it gets dramatic.
It does.
It can get very dramatic.
It really does. It really does. It's like, you know, I hope that, you know, I mean, even as we talk about it, that I have some more work to do on the will side of things, and I've got to, you know what, I'm gonna do that tomorrow.
Good.
I'm gonna do that tomorrow.
Good. Because people, it's so easy to put it off.
Well, it's the
It's
easiest
so easy.
thing.
It's the easiest thing to
you
put
take your time account for granted. You don't know what the balance is in that. You take it. But tomorrow, I'm actually gonna go online.
That's good. Yeah,
I'm glad you brought that up,
dude. I did it, and it was uncomfortable because my wife and I had to talk about it. And I have kids, and she has kids, and we have a number of different properties, and we had to think about.
Wait, Julie has kids?
Julie came with 2 kids too.
Okay.
So she came with 2, and I have 2.
Okay.
And she has properties, and I have properties, and we had to talk about all how. And so it's it was a kind of uncomfortable conversation to start.
Do you have legacy land? I mean, like your grandparents.
We are self-made people. I come from nothing. I am a self-made man.
So everything that you got, you created it. It's not like your daddy and
right.
your grandparents and
exactly.
none of that left you.
None of that. And which is one of the reasons why I felt like it was imperative to have a will, because when my parents passed away, we got nothing. We got nothing. And I find that with poor people and working class people, they don't have insurance policies, life insurance policies. They often don't have properties.
Right.
And what little they do have is then fought over, and if it goes to court, then the lawyers get that.
Ain't nobody got
and so you get nothing. And I come from a family of 11 kids, so when my parents passed away, I got nothing. Nobody got anything. I just thought that I would like, how nice would it be to have your kids start off with not having to start off with zero. They actually have some capital. So if they have some ideas, some concepts that things they want to do, they have some capital to possibly make those a reality.
Right.
And so that's why I felt it was really important that we created the wills. And because we have a blended family, we would not want those families to be arguing over what is what. And so we knocked that will out, and I'm so glad I did it, because I hop on a plane now, and I go on there with a clear conscience that whatever happens, I'm taken care of. And I wrote to my kids and told them, we've got a will. This is where it's at. Anything happens, you know what to do.
That's huge. That's huge.
That's it.
That it's instructions.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I saw this thing the other day that it was a document container, and it had a list of every section in it. Was this is the will, this is passports, this is the 401k, this is so and so and so. Yeah.
I would love to have that type of organization. Mine ain't like that, but I would love to have that type of organization.
If I find that thing, I'll run across that thing.
Yeah,
and I'll send you the link to it.
That's a great idea.
It was actually it was a great document feeder, if you want to call it, whatever it is.
Because when something like that happens, there's high emotions anyway.
Yeah. And
the last thing you want is confusion on top of that. If things can be laid out pretty simply, that helps so much. But yeah, man, I'm going to hold you to that, bro.
Yeah.
I'm going to hold you to it.
I'm making that phone call tomorrow.
I'm going to hold you to it.
God bless you, man.
All right, man. It's been a great conversation, Richard.
Yes,
I'm glad we did it, and we'll do it again.
We'll do it again.
We'll do it again.
Thank you very much. This has been wonderful, and I've had a great time, and hope you learned some.